Stay in this video. I promise you it's going to change your life. Also, share it with somebody that's going through a hard time or that you know got into running and changed their life because they were going through a hard time. I'm going to tell you how I've done 22 marathons. I'm a 241 marathoner, qualified for the Ironman World Championships twice. And now this gentleman asked why I consistently do 50 milers. I've done 6 of them in the last 18 months, with 6 hours 26 minutes being my fastest. I've placed second overall in every single one of my ultras. So I'm going to open up, share my story, and stay on this video. At the end, I'm going to give away a free pair of shoes to somebody possibly with a similar story and give back to the community. So here we go. So we have to understand that there's a huge correlation between trauma and ultra runners, or people that consistently get into running, right? You know, it's not easy. There's a lot of pain. Why? It's self-inflicted pain. It's a way of freedom. It's a way to actually handle endorphins and everything. So without getting into a lot of details, I grew up in a very abusive alcoholic family. Both my parents were drug addicts. They filed for bankruptcy. I got abused for 13 years, which I thought abuse was love, but it wasn't. I would be black and blue. I wouldn't go to school. I couldn't go to school. I'd be bleeding. My dad would beat me with a belt. It was a legit horror movie growing up. That's how I grew up, was from that pain. So as you guys can now know, why I've done so many races is because I don't really feel pain and I love pain. And I know it's something bad to say, but I always push far. I want to know my limits. And on the other side of pain is pleasure for me. And on the other side of pain is a reward. So you're already in pain, get a reward for it. So I started off with Ironman. Just because I saw somebody crawling at the finish line and I was like, I got excited. I saw the pain. I placed 5th in my first. I qualified for Kona. Then I placed 4th in my second, qualified for Kona. And I wanted something a little bit different. Now, I was running, but I wasn't running like an actual runner, right? There's a difference. Triathlon is composed of 3 sports. Running is a little bit different. I got into running because I wanted to push my limits, and I just had goals of doing 20 marathons and stuff like that. And now I've done 22. But the first one was 3:36. And then 241 was my fastest. And I got into 50 milers to answer this question because I was curious and I wanted more pain. Yes, marathons are painful, but I have a very high pain tolerance because of my upbringing and because of how much I train. I'm currently doing 132-mile weeks. I understand that my relationship with pain is very obsessive, and I need it in order for me to feel alive and for order for me to get my goals and stuff like that. I mean, the more pain that you can go through, the better off that you're going to be, the more successful you're going to be when it comes to being an athlete, because you need that pain and you need that adaptation. And the people in ultra marathons that can outlast the pain are the ones that are going to win. So I got into 50 milers. I placed second in my first, and I got hooked. It was very painful. It reminded me of my upbringing. I got flashbacks, but I loved it. And then I've done 6 in the last 18 months. I placed second overall. And now I want to continuously push because I'm not a perfectionist, even though I think I am. I want to win. I want to know what it's like to go from an 8:18 down to a 6-hour 50 miler, which I'm training for, my 7th in 2 weeks. So that is why I constantly do them, is because the pain that I got from my father was now the pain that I put into Ironman and then to marathons, and now 50 milers. After the 50 milers, I'll do 100. But don't be afraid of the pain, guys. You have to go through pain if you actually want something worthwhile in your life. Like, nothing is handed to you. You earn this. That is why I love running in the community. It's because everybody that's competitive in the community or gets into it goes through some type of pain to make them better. So with that being said, I'm giving away a free pair of shoes. My upbringing was my dad abusing me, was everything. I can dive into it, but I want to know everyone else's story. Why you got into running, why you actually push yourself. Do you have a story of maybe you tried to commit suicide, and I've been there before. Maybe your mom died and the next day you got into marathon training. I really want to give back to this community because it has saved my life and has pushed me to the absolute limit. And I would not be in this position physically and mentally if it wasn't for running, based off of my upbringing. So comment your story, share this with somebody. The free pair of shoes is just going to be for somebody's comment that's taking me back. I will respond to all comments, but I really want to give back to this community, change it for the better, and show you that it's okay to be in pain. It's okay not to train zone 2. It's okay to push your fucking limits every day. There's people like myself that are outworking, outperforming regular runners that are super skinny because I work harder. I know what that pain is, and I have a very high pain tolerance. Sometimes on 50 milers, I don't feel any pain until mile 42. That stuff's not normal. But there's a reason why I do it, and it's because of my upbringing and abuse that I went through for 13 years. So for anybody with a similar story, please drop the comment. I'm going to respond. I'm going to give that free pair of shoes on the next day of my race, which is on August 10th. So I want this video to get out there, and if it doesn't, for me to open up about my dad was very difficult. I may delete it, but I hope I don't, just because obviously I'm being very vulnerable to people that don't know me. But it is what it is, and at the end of the day, if I can help make somebody smile, motivate them, push them, I did my job. So that is why I got into 50 milers and why I still do them. And yeah, comment and we'll kind of just pick the winner on the 10th and the day after my race if I live, because my motto is ER or PR. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm out.